next test, which is already on Thursday. All right. So please look up here on the board, and I want to try to show you something. All right. Now just sit down and listen for a second. Don't interrupt. All right. If I said to you this, if I said A, I'll make it a little bit better. If I said A times B equals 0, Max, I really want you to listen. If A times B is equal to 0, what has to be true? Max. Very smart, right? One of them has to be 0. Did I agree with that? Either what? A has to equal 0 or B has to be 0. Did I agree with that? Because why? 0 times anything is what? 0. All right, so if you understand that concept, then today is super, super easy. All right, especially again if you know how to do what? Factor. All right, so everybody take a look now at question number 1. The first step is there a GCF? No, so just factor number 1. You got 30 seconds. Go. Factor it. I'm walking around the room. If you don't have a factor quick enough, you're getting smacked in the back of the head.
Yes. I love that.
You better get a helmet on. Wow. Wow, Stevie. Come on. All right. Now, the only thing I want you to do is set equal to 0. Set equal to 0. What's the matter, man? Hello. Turn it back on. And if not, just run up to the office real quick. Come on, factor. Factor. Stop looking around. Did you get it? All by yourself, or did you get help? Come on. Look here. All right, again, factoring. I'm telling parents because I'm having like 20 conferences. If all you're doing is writing down what I'm saying, it's not helping you. All right? You're supposed to factor, which means there's always 2 sets of parentheses. So you should have started with that. Now, the other thing I need you to remember is that it's equal to 0. That's the one difference. It's always equal to 0. Now, how do I make 2x squared? I make it with 2x and x. So here we go. I'm putting 2x and x. Now, what are the only factors of 5? 5 and 1. Where does the 5 go? On the left, and 1 goes on the right. So I've got a 5 here and a 1 here. Now you make your smiley face to make sure that's good. How much is this? 5, and how much is this? Which totals what? If they are both positive. Now, this is what we did last week. Now, all you have to do this week is take those factors, which in this case is 2x plus 5, set it equal to 0. And then x plus 1 equals 0. Right, Jack? Yes. And then I just solved those 2 equations. When I solved those 2 equations, minus 5, minus 5. 2x equals negative 5, x equals negative 5 over 2. Anybody have any questions? Then finally over here, subtract 1, so x is equal to what? Negative 1. All right, now I'm going to highlight something and ask you a question. Look up now. Stop working. Ben, are you with me now? X is equal to what? Negative 5 halves. Come on, some of you are not looking. I don't care about the other problems. Look up so you can see what I'm saying. I'm highlighting negative 5 halves. If I plug in negative 5 halves there and negative 5 halves there, what's my final answer going to be? 0. Very, very good. That's important. I don't understand why people have trouble. Now, do I plug in negative 5 halves in for this x and negative 1 in for this x? No, x can't have multiple values in the same equation. Normally, there's always been what? One solution. A quadratic means there's going to be how many solutions? Two. It's called the fundamental theorem of algebra. The exponent, bless you, tells you the number of solutions. This is x squared, so how many solutions are going to be? 2. So now the next question is, what happens if I plug -1 in for x here and -1 in here? What am I going to get? What am I going to get? 0. That equation, when I plug in for x, is going to equal what? 0. What? Well, no, I'm saying it has different meanings. All right? It has different meanings. But they call this a quadratic. Yeah, I was always wondering the same thing, to be honest. But they call it a quadratic. In algebra 2, they'll call it a parabola. There's different meanings. Okay? So, again, there are 2 solutions. All right? Girls, any questions? Good? So all we're doing is factoring and setting the factors equal to 0. And if you know how to factor, then this is what? Simple. It's a 2-step equation, sometimes a 1-step equation, which we've done since 5th grade. 6th grade, actually. All right, so now everybody take a look at number 3. Factor number 3 right now. Chop, chop, go. We don't have much time. We've got a short period today. Walking around the room, getting ready to get snacks among you. Let's go. Wake up. Yes, the 2 and the 6 can't go together. Good. Wow. Wow. Good. I did it right. The sign's good. The 2 and the 6 can't go together, remember? You getting it right? No. It's the sign. Wow. That's actually correct. Now, set the factors equal to 0. We'll look at our paper. You look over here. What are you doing? Let's go. Now, set them equal to 0. We're not factoring by grouping. No, erase that garbage. 2 sets of parentheses. Come on, come on. Come on, look up, look up, look up. Follow me. All right, come on. You're all right. Hey, follow me. All right, here we go. 2 sets of parentheses. That's how I want you to do it. All right, 2 sets of parentheses. Now I'm helping right now. So now please listen. 2x squared. The only way I can make 2x squared is 2x and x. Right? Now I'm asking, hey, quiet please. I'm asking for the factors of 6. Now I think it's better to say the middle factors. Always start with the middle factors. The middle factors are 2 and 3. Will, you with me on this? Now where does the 2 have to go? On the right side. It has to go on the right side because there can't be a common factor here. You understand me? 2 cannot go there. So that forces 3 here. Now, you need smiley faces. 3x and 4x can make 1x if the 4 is and the 3 is. That's what you should be telling me. And don't forget, it's equal to 0 this time. Better? That was good for you. What about you? Will? Is that making sense? All right, so now we're going to go ahead and 2x minus 3 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0. Come on. Add 3 to both sides, 2x equals 3. Divide by 2, x equals 3 over 2. Hey, how was that step? You got factoring. Now you got to make sure you solve that equation, right? And here, x equals what? -2. Vivian, you good? You understand me now? Come on now. Tell me, right? Will? All right. Number 5, chop, chop. Let's go. Factor, factor, factor. Good. 2 sets of parentheses. Good. How fast? Good. The only factors of 1. Wow. Well, 7 equals 0. You're done. Wow. I told you. There's tissue there. Good. Oh, good. Oh. All right, now keep practicing. I don't want to have to keep telling you. Work, 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 work. Wow. Nice. Now be number 7, girls. Come on. 1 divided by 3 is not 3. Good. Yeah, 1 divided by 3 is not 3. All right, here we go. So here we go, right now. All right, 2 sets of parentheses. 3x, x, 1, 1, plus, plus. And I went around the room, I think almost every single person had that. Now notice I have equals 0. Now, 3x plus 1 equals 0. X plus 1 equals 0. Now, I want you to be able to say negative 1/3, though. You don't have to do the minus 1, minus 1. If you need to do it, do it. Just like over here, x equals what? Negative 1. Check it. If you accidentally put negative 3, just make yourself a don't. You're dividing by 3. The dividing is in the denominator. All right, now the hard one, number 7, because it's kind of written backwards, but still, 2 sets of parentheses. I'm walking around the room again. Come on. Good. No. The y is going to be over here this time. You get me? The y squared is over here, so y and y. Now look, your small is this. That's negative 2 and positive 5. True. So that would be plus and negative. Check your work with it. No, I don't want you to do it. This is how I want you to do it. It's much easier. Negative y squared to me is hard. Okay, so I want to show you. Look, for those of you guys who are still working on 7, I would prefer that you put 5 and 2, y and y. You hear me? Now, this is what? 2y and 5y. And I want it to be negative 3. You agree? So this has to be negative, and that has to be positive. Do you see that? Hey, you guys with me on that? You with me? Girls? Julia, you see that was a hard one because of the negative y squared. All right, so because of that, it's 5 plus y equals 0 and 2 minus y equals 0. So y is equal to negative 5 or 2. You do that? Hey, agreeing? Guys? Agreeing? You with me on this one? All right, number 9. Let's go, knock this out. Number 9, let's go, factor. Now do your smiley face. 5, 3, there's no way that's 16. Good. 5, 1, now you have what? Yep, there's going to be what? Yeah, buddy, come on. Got it. No reason to struggle with this. None whatsoever. Go back, let me check. Very good. Very good. Very good. Good. Yeah, excellent. This one. What are you doing? You. How are you doing 2 and 3? No, I'm trying to see the other one. What about the hair 7? I'm getting it. I got one very good time. Don't just stick around. Well, let's see. Let's see right there. Set the factors equal to 0. All right, Will, come on now. You're almost there. Keep going.
Yes.
All right. Here we go. Parentheses. So I have 3x, x, 5, 1, minus, minus. I think everybody had that. Now you set them equal to 0. 3x minus 1 equals 0. X minus 5 equals 0. So x is equal to 1/3 or 5. Very nice. All right, 11. Okay, number 11 is considered the really hard one. It's considered really hard because 36 has a lot of options and what? 24 has a lot of options. This is annoying. If you can factor this one, then you know how to factor it, and there's no problem. Did you get it? Did you get it? Let me check. Now remember, 4 and 6 can't go together. That's how you can learn. All right, that's a quick way to go through the problems. Did you get it? Remember, 4 can't go with 12. Gold star. What? Good. Wow. Well, what about this one, though? Hurry up. Good, because that was the hard one. This one's so hard. Some of you, look, I'm telling you now. Now, listen, 11 is really hard. 11 is really hard. It's not 18 and 2. And again, part of it is the struggle to try to figure things out. All right, let's talk about 36 for a quick second. 36x squared. Now, generally I said, listen to me, guys. I generally said start with the middle factor. So if we tried 6x and 6x, what is the problem with 6x and 6x? That the factors of 24, no matter what's going to have an even number in there, there's nowhere to put it. Hey, I'm not sure you're listening to me, but you need to listen. Regardless of the factors, for example, 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, is there any place to put 2 and 12? No. Is there any place to put the 8? No. Is there anywhere to put the 4 or the 6? No. Is there any place to put the 24? No. So right off the bat, I know it's not what? 6 and 6. It's not going to be 6 and 6. So instead of 6 and 6, we're going to try 9 and 4. I don't know if that's right, but we're going to try 9 and 4. So I put 9x and 4x. Now, please listen, Will. Now, is it possible that it's 2 and 12? No, because there's nowhere to put the 2 or the 12, right? So the only one that I would possibly think to try would be the what? The 8 and the 3. Where does the 8 have to go? First. Because there's no common factor with 9. Where does the 3 have to go? Second. Now please, smiley face. 32 and 27. 32 and 27 make 5 if the 32 is what? Positive. And the 27 is what? If you factor that correctly, you're an expert at factoring. That's actually very hard. Very, very hard. All right, most people cannot do that. All right. Now we got one step further, setting it equal to 0. So now 9x plus 8 equals 0, 4x minus 3 equals 0. So now I'm hoping everybody can tell me x is equal to negative 8/9 and x is equal to 3/4. Everybody hearing me? Right? Max, are you with me? Jack, you know what we're doing, right? Yeah. Jake? Vivian? Girls? All right, man, that was good. All right, let's put a star by number 13. 13, you got to factor that. What do I have to pull out? Good job, girl. X minus 3, what's left behind? So is it already factored now? Yes. So now it's just what? X minus 3 equals 0. X plus 5 equals 0. So x can equal what? 3 or negative 5. Hey, do you know what you're doing? Yes. All right, you got to tell me now. Come on. Okay. Okay, how many terms in the next one? So it's probably factor by what? Factor by grouping. So let's have some more fun here. Factoring by grouping. Yes, fun. All right, what am I factoring out here? X squared. Good job. And what's left behind? X plus 1. Uh-oh, now the hard part. What am I factoring? Good job. Wow, Jess, how's it feel to be a math superstar? That's good, doesn't it? What's left? X plus 1. Wow. So now what am I factoring out? I've created a math monster. Now what? Well, wait a minute. What about x squared minus 4, though? First mistake. That's right. Good job, girl. So now this time we're going to have how many solutions? 3. Why are we having 3 solutions? Highlight the x cubed. That tells you there's 3 solutions. Now remember, what I'm trying to teach some of you guys is you have to help yourself. All right, so if that's not clear, you got to tell me. Will, that's clear to you? All right, now we have to set the factors equal to 0. So x plus 1 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0, and x minus 2 equals 0. So x could be negative 1, negative 2, or 2. Everybody good with that? Oh, good for you. All right, so now what I want to do is I want you to answer me this question right here. Do you understand this part right here? Or not? You got that, right? So if you understand that, the next part's actually easy. Okay, so let me show you what you're missing. So this right here factors to this. You see it now, right? Because remember, x squared would be x times x, positive 2, negative 2, because the middle term is 0. Is that good now? Mm-hmm. All right. Boys in the back, y'all good? Mm-hmm. You with me? All right, let's knock out the next one. 17. 17. I need you to put at the top. GCF. How many solutions are there, guys? 3 solutions. 3 solutions. What is the GCF? X. So everybody has to pull out an X. When I pull out an X, x squared minus 2x minus 24 equals 0. Now what? Good job. 2 parentheses, x and x. You're awesome, girl. 4 and 6, and then you are awesome. How many solutions? How many solutions are we going to have? 3. Right? Now here's what people miss. This equals 0. The next one equals 0. And the next one equals 0. You with me on this? So x equals 0. X equals negative 4. X equals 6. Emily, is that good? Kate? Allison? Will? Colin, I haven't called on you much. You good? Ben? You okay with that or not? All right, so I need a GCF for 19, please. No. Thank you. 2x, GCF, 2x. And then what's left behind? Say it. 1. Very good. All right. Now, 2 sets of parentheses. I want someone else to tell me. Jack, me, what do I got here on 19?
2x and then 3x squared.
3x and
2x. Wait. Oh, sorry. 3x and x.
yeah, and the only factors for 1 are
1.
So now what do I got?
I have 4. Wait. So 1's negative and positive.
So which one's negative on the right and the left?
The right one is
very good, man. That's exactly correct. So now you set your factors equal to 0. 2x equals 0, 3x plus 1 equals 0, x minus 1 equals 0.
And then 2x. And then
so what is, if 2 times x is 0, what is x?
0.
0.
And then negative 1 third.
Good job, and
then
very nice. Now I skipped a step there, girls. Are you comfortable with that? Skipping that step? Subtract 1 divided by 3. All right, what time did you get out of here?
37.
Well, what time is it? I got time. Because again, all I want to do is go down and do the odds today. Tomorrow we're going to do the what? Tomorrow we're going to do the evens. Now, I want to show everybody number 21. And then I'm going to show you 23, and then I'm going to let you go on your own. All right? Now, I could factor out a what here, guys? What's a GCF? Notice I didn't say the GCF had a variable in it, correct? So if there's not a variable, I want you to do this. Divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. That's kind of what I want you to do. And so then this becomes what? X squared plus 4x plus what? 4 equals 0. And now what? Let's factor. Somebody tell me what that factors to. X and X. Good. And they're both positive. Very good. So now x plus 2 equals 0. Do I have to write x plus 2 equals 0 again? No. Uh-oh. The reason I say no is because it's the same thing, correct? So now I want you to come down here and put x equals negative 2. And right next to it, I want you to write this. It's called a double root. It's called a double root. Now, why is it called a double root? It's double because it's the same answer as written how many times, guys? Twice. That's why it's called double. Now, a solution in math, believe it or not, is called a what? It's called a root. Listen to what I just said. In math, a root just means that it is a solution. So be good on that. So that's why they call it a double root. All right. Now, for me, why is 23 the easiest one? Because it's already what? It's already factored. So 23 is super easy. So you just go x equals 0 and x minus 6 equals 0. And then you solve it. Well, is the first one already solved? And the answer is what? Yes. So the answer is x equals 0 or x equals what? 6. All right, I think that's good for me. Try 25 through 37. 25 through 37. Don't worry about the word problems. 25 through 37, guys. Just the odds. Tomorrow we're going to do just the what? Evens. On Wednesday we're going to review. And on Thursday we have a test. All right? Do a good job.